Alright then, Forest faithful. Are you ready for another bombshell straight from the city ground? Honestly, I don't even know where to begin today, because what's landed about our club over the past few hours is the sort of stuff that'll drive any Red absolutely mad with curiosity, and at the same time, leave you worried about what's coming next. 3 completely different situations are shaking the club behind the scenes right this very moment. The first will make you wonder whether it's even worth kicking off the season, because we've lost a key player for longer than anyone wanted to hear. The second is all about the relentless schedule, and Postecoglou'S already having to prove his worth sooner than expected. And the third, well, that one will put a smile on your face, because it's about a potential signing in January. The sort of Christmas present every Forest supporter would love to unwrap. But before I spill any names, any details, any piece of information that could completely change how you see this season, I need to ask, are you truly ready for what's coming? Because some of these updates are tough to digest, while others will have you counting down the days until January. If you're a proper Red, if you bleed Forest Red just like I do, then smash that like button now and tell me in the comments, when was the last time you honestly felt the club was heading in the right direction? Because after what you're about to hear, your answer might change completely. And trust me, the very first revelation explains a lot about the problems we're already facing at the start of this campaign. Ready? Let's go. We'll start with the one that hurts the most. And it's about a player you've seen bombing up and down that left flank week out. I'm talking about someone who played 35 of 38 Premier League matches last season, who was crucial in our historic qualification for the Europa League, who only just renewed his contract to show total commitment to the project, and now leaves us in an awkward spot for the months ahead. Yes, it's Ola Aina, and the update on him is nothing short of brutal. This Nigerian fullback suffered a serious thigh injury while playing for his country against South Africa in a World Cup qualifier last Tuesday. And when I say serious, I mean 3 months out. 3 whole months. That means, at best, we'll only see him back in December. The BBC have confirmed the timeline. The club released an official statement on Friday, and The Athletic even suggested he could be sidelined until the end of the year. To make matters worse, Aina's expected to be left out of our Europa League squad list. No point wasting a slot on someone who won't feature until Christmas. And here's the real issue. Postecoglou'S has lost one of his most valuable players at the very first hurdle as manager. Aina isn't just raw pace up and down the pitch, he's arguably one of the best free signings we've ever made. He joined us on a free from Torino in 2023 and became absolutely central to finishing 7th last season. What makes this even harder is the timing. He literally just signed a new 3-year deal, showing absolute loyalty to the Forest project. And now, just when Postecoglou'S needs continuity to bed in his tactical style, a style that relies heavily on attacking fullbacks, we lose our number 1 against Arsenal. The gaffer had to improvise with Nicolo Savona, who's still adjusting to English football. And here's the cruel twist. Zinchenko, who we brought in on loan from Arsenal, couldn't play against his parent club. So our first choice fullback was injured. Our second choice was unavailable. That explains a lot about the struggles in that 3-0 defeat. Without Aina, we lost our width, the accurate deliveries, and that ability to overload the opposition down the flanks, something that was such a trademark last season. Let me ask you this. Do you think 3 months without Aina could seriously jeopardize our Europa League campaign? Drop your thoughts below and tell me which fullback you'd use in his place, because this situation could define the months ahead. And if you think that's already bad enough, wait until you hear the next bit. Time doesn't stop in football. Postecoglou'S doesn't have the luxury of sulking about injuries or wondering what if, because after what happened on Saturday against Arsenal, that 3-0 drubbing that had people already questioning if the Aussie was the right choice, the fixture list isn't doing him any favors. And the next test could be absolutely pivotal. First things first, we've got Swansea in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday at the City Ground. Postecoglou'S was crystal clear. It'll be Wednesday. I can't afford to waste any time. He knows this is the first real chance to stamp his ideas onto the squad, but the real focus is on the weekend. Next up in the league, Burnley. And make no mistake, that game could shape the immediate future of Postecoglou'S' tenure. Now don't be fooled by Burnley having just come back up from the championship. They're organized, they're streetwise, and they love playing against so-called bigger sides. Exactly the sort of opponent who could cause serious trouble for a manager still trying to install a new philosophy. Context is key. 4 games into the Premier League, we've only got 4 points, mid-table for now. But that Arsenal loss was worrying. Just 1 shot on target in 90 minutes, barely any control. And the worst stats since the Nuno Espirito Santo era. Postecoglou'S admitted that Arsenal's second goal, coming only 45 seconds after the restart, killed the game off completely. But there's no time for regrets now. It's about fixing things. And quickly, Burnley gives him that opportunity. It's the perfect stage to prove his attacking football can actually work in this league. But it's also a trap, because if we don't win at home against a newly promoted side, the pressure is going to ramp up dramatically. Ryan Yates posted after training that it was brilliant, and that he can already feel standards shifting. Elliot Anderson, on the other hand, admitted that 1 training session isn't enough to change everything. That says it all. Time is the biggest enemy right now. Friday's training session was the main chance for Postecoglou'S to get tactical messages across. With most of the squad only returning from the international break on Thursday, he's working with limited preparation and hoping it's enough. Burnley then is the acid test. Can Forest dominate a match, carve out chances, and finally show the attacking identity we've been promised? No excuses about fixture congestion, no hiding behind needing more time. And let's not forget that we've now gone 14 consecutive away games without a win at Arsenal. The last was way back in 1989. Can we start breaking bad habits quicker than we create new ones? Burnley's the barometer, and I'll put it to you. What do you expect from this match? More possession? More intensity? More goals? Let me know in the comments, but don't go anywhere, because the next update is the exciting one. Now, for something to get you dreaming beyond all the current problems, because while most of us are focused on the short-term challenges, the club's hierarchy, with Edu Gaspar now installed as sporting director, are already plotting the winter transfer window. And the name on the radar could be just the present we're waiting for. We're talking about Isaac Romero, Sevilla forward, 25 years old. According to Spanish outlet Fixtures, Forest are the Premier League club best placed to sign him in January. Romero's no household name yet, but don't underestimate him. He scored 13 goals in 51 games for Sevilla, including 10 in 49 La Liga appearances. Not spectacular numbers, but this season he stepped it up. Already bagging 2 goals in 4 matches, earning Sevilla 4 vital points against Girona and Elche. What stands out most is his profile. He can play across the front line, offering exactly the sort of versatility Postecoglou'S is desperate for. A forward who moves intelligently between the lines, can finish chances, and link up play, tailor-made for Ange's system. Here's the catch. Sevilla won't listen for less than $20 million, around 17.3 million. Sounds a lot, but when you remember we spent over 180 million in the summer, it's completely realistic. Romero's tied to Sevilla until 2028, so it won't be easy. But the Spanish club aren't shutting the door if the money's right. And the key detail, Forest have positioned themselves ahead of rivals in England. The timing also makes perfect sense. By January, Postecoglou'S will have a few months to evaluate the squad, figure out what's working and what's not. And a flexible forward like Romero could be exactly the boost required. Imagine him arriving mid-season, already tested in La Liga, versatile enough to fit into different roles. It'd be the first major Postecoglou'S signing, his chance to really stamp authority on the side. Forest have a decent track record signing from Spain too. The strategy's clear, players with growth potential but already experienced at a high level. Romero ticks every box. We're only in September and a lot can change before January, but the very fact that the club's already working, already targeting, already positioning itself, that screams ambition. What do you reckon, Reds? Would 20 million for Isaac Romero be money well spent? Would he solve our attacking issues? Drop your verdict below, because this one could define our season. And just wait until the final section. When you take a step back, these 3 stories together paint a very clear picture of where we stand as a club right now. On one hand, we've got immediate challenges we simply can't ignore. Losing Ola Aina for 3 months is a nightmare, and a real test of Postecoglou'S adaptability. At a time when stability is key for his tactical ideas, we've lost arguably the most reliable fullback in the side. But here's the paradox. While we're dealing with that setback, the club is already planning ahead. The pursuit of Isaac Romero shows we finally learned from past mistakes. No more scrambling at the last minute in the transfer market. That sort of planning signals maturity. trading for a versatile forward from Sevilla. That's a statement that the financial structure is healthy and that Forest have the clout to compete for top-level talent. Then there's Burnley. More than just another league game, it's the first real test of Postecoglou'S football in England. Can he bounce back from Arsenal and show his style actually works? Let's be honest, after that 3-0 defeat, plenty of fans were asking, did we make the right call sacking Nuno? Is Postecoglou's really the man? But let's also be fair, he's had 1 week. The squad returned late from international duty, and yet there were glimpses of change. Yates called training brilliant. Anderson admitted it'll take time, but there's progress. What gives me confidence is the balance between realism and ambition. Yes, Aina's out, but Postecoglou's already working on alternatives. Yes, we need more up front, but the board are already moving for Romero. And let's not forget, this is our first Europa League in 30 years. That changes everything. Financially, reputation-wise, in terms of attracting new players, Romero might be tempted by exactly that. The chance to play European football while still in his prime. Burnley, then, is a perfect opportunity. Compact team, likely to sit deep, giving us the chance to use our creativity and pace. If we can dominate them, score goals and show some flair, confidence will skyrocket. So here's the question. Do you trust the project? Do you believe Postecoglou's can take us to another level? And most importantly, are you willing to wait until January for Romero? Tell me your most realistic expectation for this season. Europa League run, mid-table safety? Or do you think we can aim even higher? Because the coming weeks could shape it all. So there we are, Reds. 3 stories that show exactly where we stand and where we could be heading. Ola Aina's injury is brutal. 3 months without one of our best players, just when we needed him most. But that's football. It's about adapting, finding solutions, proving the project is bigger than any one individual. The Burnley game will be telling. If Postecoglou's can get his ideas across, if we play attacking, winning football, the worries from Arsenal will fade. But if we stumble again, the pressure will grow fast. And Isaac Romero, that one gets me buzzing. 20 million for a versatile 25-year-old forward, proven in La Liga and potentially the missing piece of the puzzle. Imagine him joining in January. With Ange settled, the team gelled, and Europe still alive. What excites me most though is how all 3 stories connect. We've lost Aina, but we're already planning solutions. We've got a short-term challenge in Burnley, but a long-term boost lined up for January. That's maturity, that's proper strategy. And think about where we are as supporters. First Europa League in decades. Best place to sign talents from Sevilla. A board that looks proactive, not reactive. That's why I love this club. Forest has always been about resilience, about solving problems, about dreaming big even when the odds are stacked. These stories capture exactly that spirit. The real question is, how far can we go? With Postecoglou's attacking football, with Romero potentially arriving, with European football back on the table. I'll be honest, I think we're at the start of something special. It won't be easy, it won't be quick, but it feels different this time. Aina's setback is temporary. Burnley's a test, nothing more. Romero's a possibility, not a promise. What matters most is we finally have a plan. A manager with clear ideas, a board with foresight, and a fan base that never gives up. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me in the comments which of these 3 stories excites you most. Romero's potential arrival, Burnley at the weekend, or are you most worried about Aina's injury? And let me leave you with a teaser, because whispers are already coming out about another potential signing, one who could arrive even earlier than Romero. And trust me, it's in a position no one expected us to prioritize. Stay tuned, because more bombs are on the way. We are Forest!